Hi everyone, welcome to the video today. It's me. I wanted to say firstly thank you so much to every single person who's made the 1,000 subs mark on the channel. That is an outstanding achievement for this channel, and for me personally to get so many of you subscribed to make it up to 1,000. So round of applause for you guys out there. I'm really genuinely overwhelmed by that. I couldn't believe that. It doesn't seem much when you see other people's channels and they've got, like, you know, a million subscribers and all that. But you know what? To get to 1,000 is a landmark, I think, for anybody on YouTube. And I'm just grateful. And if I only end up having, say, by the time it's the end of 2019, I have, say, 2,000 subscribers, that'll do me, or even less. I mean, I'm just grateful that you've watched the video today, and those of you that have decided to sub the channel because you like the content and you like what I talk about, and what I discuss and what I put up. That's really a big achievement, not only for me, but it speaks volumes about how you do a YouTube channel. That's the satisfaction, is when you can help other people and people like your stuff and you can share. Sometimes we get it wrong. Sometimes, you know, we don't always put the right stuff up. Sometimes, you know, it doesn't get a thumbs up or it doesn't score so many hits. But the main thing is, though, I wanted to specifically today just to say thank you. This has really made my 2018 Christmas come a little bit early this year by getting those 1,000 subs. So if I really want to say thank you to all of you from the bottom of my heart, and thank you so much. Don't know all your names personally, but thank you. Anyway, for those that have subbed the channel, and also to the new viewers out there that are watching this for the first time, please do sub. Don't have to if you don't want to, but if the main thing is today, I want to achieve one basic primarily goal with you today, and that is you watch this video and you can go away afterwards at home and you can have a go yourself and get the same results. If that works for you and it ticks all the boxes and does what it says on the tin, then it's a thumbs up. Anyway, it's the old talking tea towel. I thought I'd just get that in because somebody commented on my last video about love the talking tea towel, end of quote. The reason I use a tea towel in my videos is sort of a couple of reasons. Number one is whatever I'm working on or project I'm showing you, mechanically wise, you don't get stuff rolling off the table. Even though I'm working on a flat table today, there is a chance that stuff flies off because of Sod's Law and it ends up on the carpet or somewhere, so you don't lose it and you can generally see things nice and highlighted in front of you. I've got this tea towel, coloured tea towel in front of me today because I can see stuff, it's coloured. It stops stuff slipping away. Also it helps grip stuff. And the other thing I want to specifically say is why I use a tea towel is because it's a really handy surface to work on when you're using your hands. Your hands don't slide about everywhere. And also you find that your hands get a lot of natural oils naturally in your skin. So it's handy to wipe on the tea towel when you're doing something maintenance wise or you're doing a little project. Anyway, it's the old talking tea towel, wobble wobble. Anyway, today's project, today's video is something really super easy that I want you, this is your homework project from me at the depot, to go and have a go at this after you've watched this. If you remember a program years ago called Blue Peter, that's what they used to do on that show. They used to go and tell you to do stuff and have a little go yourself. And this is primarily what my videos are aimed at and geared towards, is helping you guys do stuff on your own layout and projects and have the same results. I'm not here to brag about stuff that I've done or about how to do things, you know, my way. Even though I'm showing you how to do things my way, I want you to do it your way as well. Have a go yourself and make it personal. Enjoy the hobby and get the same results. Because this is a very expensive hobby, and I'm fully aware that loads of you out there, both young and old, you know, it's no joke. You know, trying to buy things for the hobby sometimes is hard. So if we can save a few pennies and get some great results, really easy, you haven't got to be a skilled engineer to do the stuff, that's what you want to aim for. So I want to give a special mention today, a shout out to a channel that gave some great comments and feedback, and he seems like a really nice fella from Wales. It's Steve's 00 Gauge channel, and I think Steve has just got back into the hobby after a while. He's got some great videos up of his stuff he's done so far. And there was a chap, I think Paul Muscat was his name, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a general consensus with new people into the hobby about maintaining and operating a nice smooth model railway, even with a basic setup, you know, not a piece of wood with an oval of track and a few sidings going around, nothing else but that. In order to get that set up nice and smooth, you need a couple of basic model railway laws to put in place. You need, number one, you need nice, smooth electrical connectivity between your track and your transformer, and then ultimately your wall socket. So you've got to have good house mains voltage, so make sure obviously your wiring in your house is okay. Silly question, because most of us do have, you know, decent safety wiring, but sometimes it can be a case where you go and plug in something to the wall where you're going to do something and it might be a problem. You might need to get an electrician in or something like that. These things can happen. It's not necessarily your fault. It could be a problem internally with the wiring problem in your house. That might be a problem. Let's just say that's okay. So you want to plug in your transformer, obviously, to your track, via the transformer, your wires into your track, and you know how to do that. But the main thing is keeping your track nice and clean. Now, I'm not going to do a video about that today, but what I would suggest is get hold of a nice, decent track rubber. Certainly I use Gauge Master, because they're nice, big, chunky rubbers they do, and they're really handy for obviously using the layout on track wise, cleaning the track. You can use Pico that are a bit smaller. You can do that. You can get track cleaning wagons. There's various stuff that you can keep your track clean, but on the whole, just get yourself a track rubber and make sure the top of your rails are actually nice and clean. You want them nice and shiny. The main reason your track gets dirty is because you get a lot of what's called carbon deposits. And what happens is when the electrical current goes from one rail, it goes up through one side of the motor, it comes through the opposite pole, down through, back through the motor, and back through the other set of wheels onto the other rail to make the circuit, to turn your wheels, make your motor go, and your train goes backwards and forwards. That's the basic principle. What happens is, after a period of time, it generates carbon deposits, and you see these little black marks on your wheels and also on your rolling stock and on the surface of your rails. You don't want those, because that's what causes very irregular running. So if you've got locos out there that you sort of tap on the track to get them going, or you turn the juice right the way up and they still have problems going, two things you look at. Number one, look at the state of your track. If your track's reasonably clean and you see a few little specks on it, but you turn the wheels over and they look black and there's all this muck on your wheels, that's what we don't want. So today I'm going to show you a super easy, cheap way and a very simple way of cleaning all your wheels, that includes motorised wheels, on your stuff on your layout. And you will need two things for this job. Really simple. Go to the pound shop, because that's where I always do my shopping in terms of bits and pieces. Right? Get yourself a tub of these. You will need loads of these in the hobby, and they're a good investment. These are cotton buds, as you can see. Good old Johnson's cotton buds. Don't have to be Johnson's, they can be any brand, but these are great because I'll show you why we use these, and you'll get through loads of these. So get yourself a tube of cotton buds. That's what we're going to be using today. Purely a jar of those. And the last item we're going to be using is this stuff. This is lighter fluid, and it comes in different sizes. You can get it in bigger sizes. I've just got this again from the pound shop. Got a little bit left in there. This is pretty safe to use, providing you don't put your fingers in your mouth, you don't drink it, you don't inhale it. And obviously you don't use it where there's a candle or naked flames or it's likely to catch fire or something. So for all you younger people out there, get permission from your mum and dad to use this, or even get mum and dad to help you maybe, or granddad, whoever can, an older adult, responsible adult that can help you with this. You should be able to do it on your own, but for the little younger viewers out there, you might need mum and dad to help you with this process. But again, if you're watching mum and dad or granddad out there, this is something you can do. It's dead simple, and it has the wicked brilliant results. It really is good. That's why I'm going to show you it today. So we will use those. There's many things you can use for cleaning your wheels. I had these a while ago. I don't use them that much now. Now and again I use them, but I found that after a while, this is a Pico wheel scraper, and what it is basically, it's a little miniature wire brush with copper bristles on the end. And as you can see, when you buy these things, they're nice and shiny, but as you can see, mine over the period of time has got rather dull because I've used it quite a lot. The idea is that there's a scraper on the end which I've taken off and replaced with a crocodile clip, but the idea is You put that on one terminal of the motor, and then you make contact and complete the circuit with the brush, and you put that on your wheels, and as the wheels spin round, it picks up all the crap off the wheels. That's okay, but what happens is, just over a period of time, these get really dirty, and then you actually end up putting more crap back on the wheels sometimes and making a bit more mess. So that's a bit laborious, and it involves obviously using a power transformer to use it. We want to use something rather simple. So, like I said, today we're going to be using some lighter fluid and a tub of these. Now, with that said, let's get on with it. So I'll bring the patient in and I'll show you what we're going to do. So let me just bring the camera in slightly. Oh, that's better, isn't it? Right. So today we're going to be using an old Hornby Intercity coach. That's part of my Intercity HST set, which I bought on eBay. Really old, pretty simple, you can get these about. Anyway, it doesn't matter what coach it is, we're just going to use this for our test purposes today because it's got metal tired wheels. And you might discover out there that in your collection, be it from you've got previously from the attic or the loft or even bought second hand, that you will come across these. These are quite common, but they're not really manufactured so much anymore. Well, they are actually, but a more modern version. But if you've got metal tired wheels, which you will have at some stage on your layout, you will need to clean them because these are an absolute bugger for picking up carbon deposits. They look shiny, and then after about, say, a month or two of continuous running, if you're like me, you like to run stuff regularly, then you'll notice after a period of time that when you go to take stuff off the layout and put it back in the box or back in the tray or wherever, these wheels will look rather blech. So we need to solve that problem, don't we? So I'll tell you what we'll do. First of all, you take your lighter fluid. Let's move it out of the frame. Hang on. Oops, sorry. That's better, so we can get an overall shot, can't we? Right. So we're going to put a lighter fluid there. Take a cotton bud. Take one out. Put the other outside a minute. And what we're going to do is we're going to simply lever this up. Now, what we need to do is you can find something to lever up with because my little container has a little stopper on the end there. And just a word of advice, when you're not using this stuff, it comes generally with a flip down secure little spout thing that secures it from being spilt anywhere. Make sure you seal this up every time you finish it, even when you're not using it, because what happens is it vaporizes in the air and it starts to actually dissipate in the container. So you always keep it sealed. Plus also if you knock it over, you spill it everywhere. So anyway, well, I'm going to go and open this and find a spoon or something to open this with. This gives me a perfect opportunity for you to go and grab yourself a beverage of your choice, and I'll see you in a minute. Right, welcome back. Okay, we've managed to get this open, so we'll just go for it. So all I'm going to do is just open it up like that. So we've now got it open, ready to pour. Take yourself a cotton bud, and literally all you do is just soak the top of the cotton bud, not too much, a bit there, too much, but at the side over there. And what you do, take your, if I can show you this before I clean it, there, if I show you that, I'm not sure if you can see on the camera there, might be a bit too much, but you might be able to make that out, not sure. You can see as I turn that in my finger, just to prove there is a bit of muck on those tyres there, not much, but there's enough. So all we're going to do, take the cotton bud, and with a finger, use the other finger as pressure for the other part of the wheel. Put your soaked cotton bud on the flange part of the wheel, tyre, and turn it by hand. And as you do, just push the cotton bud against the tyre. And then what happens is, as it's soaked in the lighter fluid is a brilliant cleaner. It's not just for putting in your lighters, it's chemically a really wonderful cleaner. It cleans a lot of gunk and crap, grease and dirt, particularly in loco wise. It does fantastic wonders, and you'll see in a minute what happens. So as you can see, simply turning it with your finger, right, give it a little polish as well. It's a cotton bud, so it's not going to do any damage to your wheel. Just really give it a little bit of a clean up. Really simple. And you can go the other way, backwards, so you can back fill on yourself. Alright, look at this. Look how much gunk's come off that. Yeah. Very nice. So look at the wheel already, look. Can you see that? Look how nice and shiny that is. That's nice and clean now. Look at that. No problem. So what we're going to do, we're going to go around the other one, because the other one's it's even worse actually. So all we do, just follow me. Let the video speak for itself. You get any stubborn bits, just go back, stop the wheel where it is, and just polish over it. But I find just by spinning it with your finger, it just makes life a little bit easier. You're creating a mechanical action of friction between the tyre and the cotton bud, and it just makes things a bit more easier. But you can just do it any way you want to do it. If you feel you want to just polish it like this, you do it any way you want it. It's your world. Who said that? Bob Ross, wasn't it? It's your world, my friends. Your happy little place. Good old Bob Ross. That bloke was a legend, I tell you that now. He was absolutely fantastic. Those paintings that he does. You ever see those on YouTube or the television? You sit and watch those, they're amazing. Anyway, that diversion of the subject. There we go. Now look, as you can see, that's much cleaner. See that? And just basically all you're going to do. Oh, by the way, important tip is don't smack your hand out there. Do not use that cotton bud once it's dirty. Chuck it. Put it in the bin. Go to your tub. Refill. Get a new one. This is why I said you go to the pound shop, you get loads of these and stock up on these, because you'll get through them in anything you do in terms of cleaning and maintenance for your locos and wagons. So again, just repeat the process. You haven't got to take these wheels out, by the way. You haven't got to take them out the bogie frames, or you haven't got to take the bogie off the chassis. Don't have to. You can do it remotely as I'm doing it here. See them in a few seconds, look, that's already changed the life of that wheel. It's already cleaned it up nicely. It doesn't look like a lot of build up on the wheel when you look at it sometimes. You think, oh, there's only a little bit on there. But a little bit turns into that. So be surprising how much lighter fluid picks up all the rubbish off the wheel and just gives it a good clean. And because it also, lighter fluid has, it evaporates very, very quickly. So if you do spill some, for example on the plastic bit of the bogie, the actual truck, the frame, don't worry, don't panic, it will not harm it. It will evaporate it. And in actual fact, you can use the same process to go around the inside of the frame as well. If you see any muck on there, because as it happens, sometimes you can have these things stored up in a loft or attic, or buy them second hand on eBay, and they can be in a bit of a state, and you might need to clean. This whole area out, i.e. remove the wheels and clean the whole frame. You can use exactly the same process to do that job. Exactly the same. Lighter fluid is an absolute wonderful product to use if it's used right and correctly and safely in terms of model railway use. Is that one done? Go over that one again. Yep, quite happy with that. Get all the gunk off that. And bring that in a bit for you younger boys and girls out there. That's better, isn't it? You can see what I'm doing then. It appears far away from where I was looking on the viewfinder. Maybe it's not for you at home. Okay, again, see, that's already no good. So we're going to do the same thing. Another reason we use a tea towel is if you spill a little bit of light fluid on there, don't panic, because it's on the light fluid, not your mum's table or your bedside unit or wherever it is you're working, because not all of us have a workshop. I've got an old table upstairs I work on that's had holes drilled for it, you name it's gone through it. I know it's old though, but obviously for you younger people at home, you don't want to do this on mum's best dining table, do you? Otherwise you'd be getting no din-dins. So again, having a tea towel or an old towel, even better still, an old towel, is a great way. If you ask mum and dad for an old towel that they don't need anymore, that can become your little project hobby towel, and you can do all your stuff on that. Stuff doesn't get lost or roll away until you put it in a container safely, ideally. But when you're dismantling stuff, it don't roll off or get lost. And if you spill a bit of lighter fluid on it, it don't matter because it dries up. Obviously don't put the towel next to the stove because it will go up. But see, look at the amount of gump that's come off that. That's just like 2 wheels worth of cleaning, and it's already picked up all that off there. So we've got a spare end to do the last set, which has got a little bit of gunk on there. Again, really simple, really simple to do. It's also quite fast as well. Doesn't take long, as you've seen. Just a few revolutions with the old finger and you've done one wheel. Do the other side. In fairness, I'll be honest with you, there's not much on these wheels because I'm pretty regimental when it comes to looking after my stuff. If you look after a model railway, it will look after you. That's the golden rule of thumb. Look after your track, look after all your rolling stock and your wagons in terms of cleaning your wheels, keeping your motor serviced, and more importantly, making sure all your pickups and wheels are nice and clean and everything's lubricated in the right spot. If you follow those rules, as you get older into the hobby, you will find that you will be rewarded time after time with perfect smooth running, whether it's at home or you take it to an exhibition. That's what I've learnt. I've learnt from other people. I've learnt from asking questions, and I think in life, if you ask questions all the time, it doesn't make you an idiot. It certainly makes you a knowledgeable person, because the more questions you ask, the more things you learn. And I always find that people who are knowledgeable, if you ask questions to them, they actually respect you for asking those questions, because putting your hand up and asking if you're not sure is always a great thing. So anyway, that is our Intercity coach, all nice and sparkly clean wheel wise, as you can see. Look at that. Da-da. Look at that, eh? Nice and shiny. That is how you want it. Obviously in 6 months time you're going to need to clean these again, depending on how much you obviously use. And obviously keeping your track clean, as I said, in between in the meantime, keeping your rails nice and clean with the track rubber, that's going to help an awful lot as well. Right, that's how to clean your wheels on your coaches and also on your wagons. Like I said, if you've got metal tired wheels on anything on your layout in terms of coaches or wagons, this is the exact same process in how to keep these clean. It works the same way for plastic wheels. Excuse me. If you've got coaches or wagons or rolling stock with plastic wheels, which you will have, again, this stuff will not harm the plastic. All it will do, it will just remove all the dirt and crap off them in the same way as you do what I've just shown you here. That's something that you can do with plastic wagons. Like I said, if it works on these wheels, it will certainly work on your plastic ones. So that's generally how you clean your wheels, freewheeling wheel wise, on your stuff on your layout. Now, I'm going to pause this because I'm going to show you how to do the exact same thing, excuse me, on a loco driven set of wheels. And I'll show you how to do that very simply. It's the same process, but for the next part of the cleaning process, in terms of cleaning a motorised vehicle, you'll need obviously one of these. Hornby train controller, or obviously your transformer, or a transformer that is designed for model railways, i.e. a 12 volt transformer, one of these. And all will be revealed shortly. I shall see you in a moment. Right, okay, welcome back to the next part, or the third part, and this will hopefully give you time to get yourself together and sit back and watch the last part. So as we talked about in the previous shots there, we talked about cleaning wagons and coaches with metal tied wheels or plastic wheels, how to do it by hand without the use of anything mechanical. So our next step is we need to clean our actual motors, or actual certainly locos that move. Those are things that can be a bit technically complicated for the younger people out there. They don't have to be, because you can use the same process. All we're going to need is, as mentioned, is one of these, a Hornby train controller or a transformer, connected up to the wall socket with a pair of wires. Again, for the younger people out there, you can ask granddad or mum and dad to help you with this, or older brother, someone responsible, an uncle, or somebody that knows what they're doing and give you a bit of extra help. Anyway, I'll show you what I'm going to do. So today's test subject matter will be, it's quite an old loco, this is a Hornby Class 47, around about 1979-1980 vintage, and it's a second-hand model, but one that I've looked after and really taken great care to bring it back to good life. So I'll just take it out of the box. So what we're going to do with this particular model, let me just try and zoom out. Look, that's zooming in, you twit. There we go. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take this out of the box and I'm going to show you exactly why we need to clean the wheels and the problems that we face in the hobby with trains, i.e. locos, be it steam or diesel, that create a lot of muck on the track, and certainly why we have problems with running, and why this may have running problems if they had the same problems I've talked about. Anyway, let's take it out of the box. As you can see, there we go, over there. So if we look at this particular model, if we turn it upside down, as you can see, there's two bogies, and if you've got a diesel loco, for example, same sort of setup. You'll have one bogie that picks up and one that has the motor on. Generally the one with the rubber tyres, if you ever have one of these models particularly, you'll notice one bogie has rubber tyres, the other one just has plain free wiggling wheels that you can move by hand, and the motor bogie generally has one set of wheels that are just individually loose, and the other two are actually geared wheels that will connect up to your motor and turn. So the problem is, with these you get a lot of problems in terms of pickups, because it relies on these wheels to pick up the current from the rails to turn the motor to move your train. Now what happens is you get a lot of muck build up on these wheels that have a problem in terms of turning. So to shorten things up, to clean these wheels are exactly the same process as what you saw before with this. Basically, get your cotton bud, move it over each wheel with the light fluid on it, and you've seen what I've done before. That's not a problem. However, this is the challenge, is to clean this powered bogie, and how to do it really simply but very effectively I'll show you. So first thing we need to do is to take off this power bogie from the chassis, which is quite easy. You can use a screwdriver, or you can use something like a small screwdriver. Obviously a small screwdriver is ideal, but even a wooden cocktail stick will do the job. So I'm just going to stop this a minute and I'll actually show you how to do this, so bear with me. Okay everyone, let's go back up to the workshop upstairs and get a screwdriver. So all you're going to do is just insert the screwdriver behind this bogie here. Let's bring it in the chariot. And you may ask, why am I removing this bogie? Because obviously in the previous shots I did take off no bogie frames from the carriage. The only reason I'm taking this off is because we need to apply power to the wheels to get them to turn whilst we clean it with the light fluid. So we need to access that motor. So all you're going to do is put if you look in between here, there's like a little space there which really specifically is designed for your screwdriver, and just what you do, you just gently lever it out like so, and that comes loose. And you'll notice when you remove these older models certainly, you'll normally see, hang on, let's bring it over so we can see what we're doing. That's better. Bring it back there. Right, you'll notice you'll have a brown cable, not always brown, but generally rule of thumb, the older Hornby models will have a cable attached from the inside that obviously runs up to your pickup bogie, which is the other end, and it goes onto this tag on the motor. All you got to do, simply and easily, unplug it like that, and we can put this to one side. I mean, clean those pickup bogie wheels on the front there in the future. What we're interested in today, guys, quickly, is showing you how to clean a motorised bogie or motorised loco. Now, obviously, if you've got a steam loco, you don't need to take off anything. You can do it by applying power. As long as you apply power to both sides of the terminals on the tender or on the wheels, you can do the same process. Normally, what you can do is on, for example, a steam loco, if you turn it upside down, you'll see there's generally some copper wipers that touch the back of the wheels. If you see those, you can gently put some crocodile clips onto them or put the wire on those. As long as you can get current to the motor and get the wheels to turn, you can hold the wires on there by hand, the way you do it. But this is generally, I'm going to show you the way that I would do something like this. So if you've got this type of motor at home in your collection or bought it off eBay, it's generally the rule of thumb how you would do it. So I'll bring in my wires like so. It's all good fun, isn't it, eh? And then what I will do is simply make a decent enough connection. So I'm going to be looking to put one, for example, across maybe there. Secure it on there. Pull one end with your finger and pull the other end with the other hand. Make an anchor point on there with the wire. Doesn't have to be perfect, but as long as it's half decent. And then the other side, what I'll do, if you twist, for example, the wire around, I can generally just slide it onto that tag. Not too much hassle. There we go. Bosh, that's on there. And then when we apply some current, we should get right. Why is that not working? Right, I'll have to stop this and investigate further. Right, welcome back. What the actual problem is there was these Hornby train controllers, they're so cheap and nasty. They've got a built-in thermal devices that if you leave it plugged in too long, even if it's not being set for any power, they don't like it, they tend to switch off. So I'll just reset that anyway. So the idea is we apply power to the motor, and obviously get the thing turning. Now obviously we've got power to the motor and everything works. Now what we need to do is clean these wheels. So this same principle I'm going to show you, if you're still with me, you haven't fallen asleep. The same principle applies with, like I said, a steam engine, a modern day steam loco, an 040, 210, 460, you name it. A model railway locomotive, be it diesel or steam, you will need to do the same thing. Get current to the motor one way or another. You can do it by stripping the bogie out like this and applying the hard wire to the motors direct, or you can just get some crocodile leads like these, like I said, with a couple of the old snapping turtles on the end, and just connect it to one of the wheels and then connect the other one to the other one. Either way, if you get two, you get the idea. Just get two wires, and as long as they're touching on the wipers, for example, or the wheels, and you get that motor turning, free turning, that's what we want to do. As long as you can get the motor going round with the wheels. Once you've got the wheels turning round with the current applied to the motor, like so, put that across there so we can see what we're doing. I want it about that speed. And all we're going to do is, hang on, whoop, that's better. All we're going to do is, you can see this, exactly the same, cotton bud, light the fluid, oop, sod's law, that stopped, doesn't matter. Come on. Oh, the wonders of YouTube when you've got crap transformers. This is not wanting to work for me today. Oh dear. I should have just took it upstairs on the workbench and used the other one. I couldn't be bothered. Oh, come on. Anyway, let me stop this 1 second and I'll just get things going again. Sorry about this, guys. Alright, apologies for that, folks. Some technical issues, i.e. cheap transformers. So anyway, I'll just reiterate what I'm doing here. Again, soak the old cotton bud with some light fluid. And on the wheels that you see turning, the ones that don't have the tyres on, or your plain wheels basically that are going round, the ones that are turning, simply put your cotton bud on there. And what will happen is, very simply and quickly, it will just pick up all the gump off there. Don't worry about the lighter fluid harming your wheels, because they won't. You just keep the cotton bud on the, gently pressed on the tyre, or the flange of the wheel is the correct term. You will notice that as you buff it up and down like that, not only will the lighter fluid evaporate, but it will polish your wheel at the same time and get all the nasty muck off there. Just to prove a point. There we go. See, it's picking up already. Come back to the other wheel, do the same. Like I said, this is just a really simple method you can do. Some of you younger people out there that are watching this, you might need a sensible adult to help you with the electrical stuff, even though it's very, very safe. But if you find it a bit fiddly, then you can get some help. But for most of us, this is quite a simple thing to do. I just polish the wheel literally with this cotton bud stick. And you get all that muck off there. Doesn't seem much on the camera, but it is quite a bit. Now, with on this example here, where you've got wheels in the middle that are not connected up to anything and just freewheeling, you can obviously go back to doing the same step 1 process as shown earlier. You just go around that, using your finger to rotate the wheel. It looks complicated, but it isn't. It's very, very fast and very easy. That's my name of the game for today. I want you guys to go and have a go at this after the video, after you've watched it. Go and have a go. And do me a favour, post a comment underneath this video, or a thumbs up if you found this useful so far, helpful, and more importantly, it's produced some excellent results on your layout at home. If it has, job done. Now, with the tyres, I'll throw that one away. As you can see, it's got both ends mucked up, so we'll bring in a fresh one. So, if you've got traction tyres on your loco, which you will have, some of them have, obviously there's no electrical connection going between the traction tyre because obviously it's rubber. The idea is, as it states, it's designed to help with haulage and grip on the rail. But these obviously do get mucky because they pick up all the crap from the rail. So they will need a clean. Light the fluid. Rubbed on there very gently. And you will be amazed at the crap that picks up off there. It picks up loads and loads of gump off there. Because the old traction tyres often get missed when you're doing maintenance. But they're a wheel and they sit on the rail and they go round, so therefore it's creating friction and creating carbon pickups on there. So you will need to get that cleaned. And look at that, my goodness, that's scary. There you are. Look at the muck off that. And I've never actually cleaned these traction tyres since I've had it, so there's a lot of muck on there. Don't need a lot of pressure. Just let the wheel do the work as it's turning for you. That's the secret. Let the wheel do the work. To the back edges, like that. As you can see. Yeah. Spin it around, get a fresh end. Nice little job. And that's all you need to do with that. See? Very simple. Could be here all day doing this. But rule of thumb. And just by pressing on that, you can hear the motor slowing down a little bit. It's not going to hurt your motor. You get the idea. There we are, and that's a much cleaner. Where is it? Let's bring the old zoom in. Where are you? There we are. As you can see, that's much cleaner. I've got the Dynarim light above me on, obviously, so you can pick up the glare off that, but I'm not exaggerating, that is a lot cleaner. You decide for yourselves at home. That's much better, isn't it? In terms of maintenance wise, while you've got the motors out on a loco like this, for example, on this 47, if you've got the older type motors at home, your tender drive will have exactly the same setup. Obviously you put a little tiny drop of loco lubrication specialist oil, you'd put a bit in there on that little pivot that comes out the armature. Put a little bit on that bit there. Let's zoom it in. I'm not going to do a whole bit on this, but just basically generally you put a bit on there, a little bit on the cog, tiny bit there, a bit on these retaining springs on there, and a little bit tiny bit on the cog, and generally flip it over and put a little bit on the axles just inside there. Not a lot, very fine amount I'm talking about, not loads. And when you put it back together, it always doesn't hurt to put a little bit behind there as well, because obviously this is doing the turning part that's going around your track, so if it's plastic against plastic, even though it's plastic, it can get a little bit stiff sometimes, so rule of thumb, put a little bit behind there as well, and on the other end. Right, well generally that is how you clean something like that, and something like that. So that's mainly how to clean motorised wheels on your trains, and also cleaning free wheels on your loco rolling stock coaches, certainly in wagons. So anyway, that's enough from me today. I hope you found that very useful, and the last tip I'm going to give you at the end of this video is always put the caps back on stuff so it don't tipple over and don't evaporate. Have a tidy up afterwards, put all your rubbish that you've worked with in the bin. Mum and Dad will thank you a million times over if you're tidy. And also, don't forget to wash these. Plenty of soap and water, because all the rubbish that you've took off your wheels, and obviously using lighter fluid, you want to make sure you give the fingers a good old scrub, because you don't want to be putting those in your mouth or getting anywhere you shouldn't be in terms of eating or other things you get involved with as well. Just generally have good housekeeping with your hands as well as your tools. Anyway, that's enough from me today, truly. Thanks once again for all your subscriptions and comments. And if you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up, give it a comment, and I will see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.